It's just about 5:30, and I have literally just gotten through with my nurse appointments and my physical therapy and saw the Instagram story that Ryan dropped just a little while ago, and just wanted to get on here and be like, "Yo, now all of like the maladjustment behavior with the maladaptive behaviors that we've been seeing, we now can see that he was going through a maladjustment period. Something happened that basically made him feel like he had no control, or that he needed to regain control, or he needed to like excise portions of his personnel to regain like you know by God, this is mine, this is my money, I've earned it. um now it's like I get now why all the maladaptive behaviors have been coming out. Like, it makes sense now. So you always know, like, you always kind of have an idea when you start seeing people struggle. And so, like, when Johnny Gobble was going on and trying to throw out a lot of these three-letter agency names, and I was like, no, no, that is so far beyond. That's stupid. I mean, if he was having these kind of issues, we would have a lot more stumbling blocks with law enforcement well before we got to a three-letter agency, y'all. I'm just, I'm retired law enforcement, so let me tell you what, it takes a while to trip up that staircase. Um, but I knew that something had gone wrong and triggered his ability to like be in control, because he was then going through all these behaviors that show him able to control crazy things, like going 170 down the interstate for freaking no reason at all. um or being like hyper aggressive about, I can do this, I will do this, and being, angry, like the goal was completion of his highest dreams, and nobody was going to get in his way, and there's all this aggression and animosity. And I was like, listen, this is got to be a family problem. Whatever happened was a doozy. But the behaviors are so detrimental. They're so detrimental to Ryan, and it concerned me so much. And y'all, it hurts for me to say that I saw him have to out this family issue on the internet. I mean, who wants to put their family issues on the internet? No one. I mean, we all have stuff that we don't want to talk about. Like, my family's going through a big butt squabble that shouldn't even exist right now. And it's just like, I've backed away and been like, when y'all get done, I'll be over here. I don't want to play this game. Um, but it's such higher stakes when he is someone that employs so many people, and so many people depend on him. And because he works so hard, he should, number one, get to enjoy what he earns, but he also has to think about everyone else that he takes care of, so that when people pull these stunts with his money, it puts him in a position where he not only has to worry about himself, but he has to worry about everyone who he employs. And so now it's like, I get why you were kind of spiraling, bro. I get it. Holy heck, I get it. Now, would it have been so much easier if we could have got it like all in one little deposit? If he was going to share it, just share it. Yes, it would have helped a whole lot of people. And it would have not allowed so many rumors to fly. But here's the thing: everything I've talked about is still viable. It still needs to be dealt with. He still needs to be looking at these issues. He obviously is super generous. He obviously has been having some repetitive issues with money going missing, or money being misallocated, or vehicles being, having strange things occur. This obviously is a repetitious issue he's got to take care of. So it's all about, like I said, professional circle. Don't ploy your friends, and keep, never the twain shall meet. Keep them separate. And then if you want to do something nice for somebody, make sure you have a reason to do something nice, but make sure that they don't anticipate something nice all the time, because you can train people to expect a handout. And he's super generous. Ryan has always been super generous. And so I think people think that they can just easily kind of fudge numbers and dilly dally here, and he won't say anything because he's such a nice guy. But he's now in his 30s, and he is getting into the part of life where his business acumen is growing. And so he's very aware of his money, his finances. So obviously, this would hurt because he's gotten to the level where he is responsible for a lot of people's employment, a lot of families' incomes. He runs a little small society to take care of his productions and his concerts and everything like that. So he has to be super careful about his money. So obviously, this is a big kick right in the nads for somebody to do this. And according to the Instagram, it said that the house was purchased by his mother. Now, could there be a plot to this that we don't know, a reason to this that we don't know, something that will come to light that will make like the heavens open up and the angel choir sing, and we all will be like, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely. Or could it show that there's a deeper flaw somewhere that needs to be fixed? Yeah, that could pop out too. Um, I understand why he's upset. I completely get why he's upset. Mad, furious. Still have to say, when you're upset, be careful of how you handle yourself. Be careful of the ways that you act out that aggression and you dump that energy and the animosity. Be careful how you cycle and spiral through those high emotion moments, because there's some very maladaptive behaviors there, which are just behaviors they're not adaptive. Instead of adapting and taking care of the issue, you almost go against the grain and cause more of an issue. So, to feel in control after a financial loss like this, he was doing strange things like going 170 down the road and having all these aggressive, viral posts where he's screaming and setting up possibly some unrealistic goals for himself that could cause more harm in the long run. Instead of doing all of that, call your accountant. Sit down with your accountant, your financial financial planner, your whoever is seeing all of your setups and your IRAs and every penny that goes everywhere. Get them all together and go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Put that energy there instead of some of the aggression that we've seen. That would have made me feel more comfortable. And I know that young men have a lot of physicality that they have to burn off when they become upset. But dangerous. Some of this stuff was dangerous and it scared me. It's very dangerous and it scared me. So this is very sad. This is a very sad thing to hear. And it's just, it's sad to see a family struggling. And we all know what it feels like to have a family struggle. And it's sad to see him hurt and be hurt in this manner. And I would be hurt in this manner too. If I don't have that much money, but if somebody took $20 from my wallet, I would be hurt. So I can't imagine what it'd be like to have that much taken. But I get the anger and the frustration and the animosity. I understand it better now. But everything I talked about for the last week is still viable, because there's always a healthier way to handle these things. Always a healthier way to, healthier decisions, healthier actions, healthier activities, just a healthier way. And I hope he finds a healthier way, because there's this level of tenacity within him that when he gets to a struggle point, it almost turns and causes him more problems than it helps. And so I hope that he learns to turn that tenacity down at times, so that it doesn't always lead him into kind of like a fight or flight where his amygdala is taken over. But it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. So if you haven't seen Ryan's Insta, he dropped the information. Apparently someone, and it says in the thing that it was his mother. I don't know if that's, I can't verify that. I've seen no paperwork, but Ryan's holding paperwork's hands. That's what he says it is. Bought a $500,000 home without his knowledge, signed it off to somebody to try to, he thinks, hide it. We don't obviously know everything, but we know enough to know that Ryan was very hurt by this financial, side eye deal, and doesn't understand why it occurred, why it had to occur, and is frustrated with the lies. Dude, I get every bit of that. I get every bit of that. Um, so yeah, I've been picking up a lot on something's not right, something's not kosher, something, his world has been off kilter for a little while, and I've been picking up on it, and I feel like I would be happier with myself had I said something earlier. But with my own health, I just didn't have the energy and time. But, I hope he knows that at the end of the day, I know this is going to sound, cliche, but it's just money. At least the money was put into realty, like real estate. So you can get some money back out of it. It's time to tighten down, and make sure that no one can touch your funds. No one can, sneak anything out of your accounts. It's time to lock her down and not be as generous. And I know that's going to hurt him because he has a generous heart. But this is going to be a hard lesson for him, because, number one, he's a trusting heart and he's a generous heart. And I think that's why this has hurt him so much. So it makes sense now. It makes perfect sense. So, and I think that maybe why everyone else was trying to run rumors, so that they could keep him busy chasing rumors and chasing the outlandish story and keep the fans chasing the outlandish story, as opposed to give him time to see where the drain was coming from and figure out what was going on. So, very sad scenario. It's not good. Yeah, I saw the dad send a nasty message online, which was just not necessary. Just not necessary at all. It bumfuzzles me how you can have such a successful young man, and you can still have your differences of opinions, and you can still have things that you don't agree on. Um, but at the end of the day, there should be a baseline respect that he did his own thing and made his own way, and has actually benefited the family in numerous ways. And it boggles me that this probably is not the whole issue. This is probably a drop in the bucket, but this is what he's willing to share. So I'd say there's probably more going on. But it's just sad. It's very sad because he is generous and because he is such a kind heart. Of course, this would hurt him more because he does give so much. And then to turn around and have people taking from you behind your back, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Let's see, music. Pass the ban on young teens being on social media. I would love if social media was simply like for 18 and above, but there's really no way to police it. That's the sad thing. There's really no way to police it. This internet brings a lot of opportunities, but 9 times out of 10, it's opportunities for the wrong people. So it has, the internet could have brought unlimited information and knowledge to the whole world, but what has it done? It's created TikTok and YouTube. As a society, we failed. We failed hard on that one. But I just wanted to come on here and say, apparently, this is part of it. Like I said, I don't think it's all of it. I think it's a drop in the bucket. I think there's other stuff that's pissed him off too. But I'm still concerned. Like he can, I never thought he was on drugs because everybody was like, the 3-letter agencies are coming after him. No, dude, it takes so long to get those 3-letter agencies. Like he is too busy taking care of too many families. Now, I will say that what he said about Adderall concerned me, but you know something? He's a grown man, and that's between him and his doctor, and I can say it concerned me, and that's all I can do. I have to move on from there. But I will say that I don't think this is all of what's occurred. I think this is a drop in the bucket because he has been doing so many things to try to regain control or to establish a dominion state, or to appear as a top dog, or to have an alpha perspective. He's trying to regain his positioning, whether it's with his family, with his work crew, with, I don't know, with himself potentially. But he's doing a lot to kind of establish that hierarchy, that pecking order, and make sure he's on top. And so he's doing a lot of things, a lot of gesticulation, like young men will act out a lot of arrogant portrayal, drama, bravado when they feel minimized. And so he's been, to me, that's what it feels like. Like, if somebody, says you don't, you're a chicken shit, then you've got, you up the ante to show them that you're not. And so that's kind of what I was like, why are you strutting around like a banty rooster and thinking you've got to be so mad about everything? But I think a lot of it is he's been trying to prove a point to himself and amp himself up to get through this and to handle these things. Because on the norm, he's such a kind, generous person, and this is the two areas that this is affecting him. The two areas he's normally the loosest in and the kindest in are going to be the two areas he has to buckle down. And that's going to be a big change for him. And that's going to be a hard change for him. And it's going to change the way that he bonds and deals with and kind of mingles with people, because he does a lot of generous things and spends a lot of time and money on his friends and his family. So it's going to change a lot of his dynamic in the hierarchy. But he always does need to know, he does need to be respected as the alpha, because he is the one that has the workforce, that creates the jobs, that takes care of all the other families, that employs everybody else, that brings in the money for everybody else. Yes, he needs to be respected above all else. But I think he needs to find healthier ways to get that respect, because the things he's doing right now are tearing him apart mentally. And it hurts to see him hurt, because he's such a kind soul. Such a kind soul. And that's why I've been so worried. And, then we've got Creek Squad out here that they love to see him angry and amped up. And so they're like, woohoo, like, raging on, trying to drag out the nastiness. And I'm like, y'all stop. Try to have positive engagement rather than negative engagement. Can you get a quick recap? So Ryan just dropped on Instagram. One of the reasons he's been acting so strange is that behind his back, and it says underneath it that his mother, though I saw no paperwork to verify that, but he may show it later. But he said there was a $500,000 home bought out of his account without his knowledge, quick signed off to somebody else to be hidden from him. And that's one of the things he's pissed about, why he's been acting like this, and why everybody thinks he's being crazy. I don't think he's being crazy. I think he's over articulating behaviors when he could take care of the scenario in a much calmer manner, which would cause him less stress. But I also don't run a multi-million-dollar business, so I probably can't imagine the stress he's under. So, but it makes sense now why he has been in such a, no, you need to see me as an alpha, you need to see me as a, big guy, the big kahuna, the top of the totem pole, I am the top of the pecking order. I get all of that now. I get the bravado now. I get it. He's demanding respect. Yeah, communication is a big thing. Like everything I've talked about for the last week is still very viable. It's still very great. It's great points for them to work on. Communication is key. If you cannot communicate and you're not communicating effectively, or you are not able to communicate in effect, then you close those avenues down. Like if you don't have enough time to check in with the people who have access to your funds, then you limit the people that have access to your funds. Right? You lower that number so it's easier for you to watch and maintain. So, but he has such a big heart, and he is so generous. And this I can see why this was a hard thing for him, because somebody that gives so much just got taken advantage of. And if you're a kind person, when people take advantage of you, it hurts the most, because it's like, dude, I would have given that to you. Why did you have to do that? I can understand why that hurt him. Yeah. Is it okay, Nina? See, I didn't think. I thought it was just a drop in the bucket. I thought this is just a drop in the bucket because there's more. That his behaviors allude to much more being wrong. Um. So there, Nina's saying that there's more. Okay. So and we probably shouldn't be privy to all the information. I think probably it's something he probably needs to take care of with his legal team and his family privately. I hope it's something that they can bounce back from and build a foundation of honesty and truth and trust again. Because, money's money, family's family. And I tell you, if I had to pick one, I would pick family. But you also have to really have a lot of communication. I mean, it took me a long time to reestablish a very good relationship with my parents, but it was worth it because it was worth it because the joy that they bring to my life now, I don't know what I would do without them. So it was worth it. So I wouldn't wish anyone to have a breach in their family long term over financial squabbles. But I certainly understand why he's pissed. I mean, certainly understand why he's pissed. Um, Katrina, it said in his Instagram that it was his mother that purchased the home. I didn't see any paperwork that said that. That's what he had put in the Instagram information. But that's what he stated also. And then there was a recording, but I couldn't identify who the recording was. But I've also had a snot storm from Hades in my head the last 2 weeks, so everything echoes. So I don't know who the recording was of, but it was quick claimed into someone else's name, so it could be hidden. There could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for all this that makes sense, sure, possible, or it could be something that he really does have to take care of and keep an eye out and make sure it doesn't happen again. Um, but yeah, I can understand the animosity that he's been having. Still want him to learn healthier ways to take care of it. It doesn't justify some of the things that he's done. And there's still healthier ways to dig through stuff and to handle things. But I certainly understand how the animosity came to be. So I don't trust anybody with money. I'm just one of those people like, sorry, I know that this could lead to a problem, so I'm going to nix the problem right now and I'll just handle this. You go on your merry way. So I'm a very big boundaries person. I'm a very big boundaries person. So yeah, I think maybe he needs a whole new financial team. I mean, he just may need a whole new, just wipe the board and have a whole new financial team. And it's just scary. It's just scary that he's going through something like this, and it's got to be difficult in his position because it's just so hard to trust people when you have any level of fame. So I can imagine he feels like he's floating on an island all alone and struggling. So I just wanted to drop just a quick little check in to let you know what was said before all the rumors start flying. Um, Still, all of my other feedback and stuff in the other videos still very important, viable information and avenues to take care of problems and behaviors and be aware of things like this. Um, this may be also an awakening for him because, as I've said many times, he does cycle, and we all do to a certain extent, but he does cycle very prominently. And this may be what awakens him to his cycle. That when he gets in these certain areas of these cycles, he gets into areas where people can take advantage or manipulate or do something without his full recognition because he's in one of these stages of his cycle of his kind of like mania. And so this may be something that also brings awareness to that for him, so that he can look at that and say, "Oh, okay, I've got to be more aware that I do this, and at these times I'm weaker for these things, and I have to put people around me that can help me watch these times, a little bit more carefully." So he's going to learn a lot about himself. The family's going to go through learn about a lot about themselves. I hope everybody can come to some kind of closure and still love each other at the end of the day. That's my big thing is Money's important. Buddy, you're talented. You're going to make a whole lot more of it. You only get one mama. Definitely square away the issues. Definitely ask the hard questions. Definitely put down better parameters. Definitely make sure that your finances are locked down hard. But don't let this lock down your heart. Because I'm here to tell you that will hurt. That will hurt. Money's one thing you're really good at making. So, you know, you're going to be able to move forward. And I just hope that the family can heal from this. And but I think this is a drop in the bucket of everything. But then again, we probably should not. I don't think we should probably be privy to any other information. Of course, he normally likes to share everything online and be very open. But I really think this is something that would be better handled quietly, privately. Now the fans know why he's been so kind of here, there, and yonder. It makes sense. So now the people know who's been fibbing, dibbing, and making rumors and gossiping. So y'all can go and see if y'all been putting energy behind the wrong people. Now y'all can be held accountable. Hold yourselves accountable. But I just feel really bad because this is a trauma that's going to continue for a while because it has to be cleaned up. It now has to be cleaned up, and most of the trauma is not from finding out something happened to you. It's the cleanup that has to occur afterward, because it hurts every time you have to correct something else that you find wrong that you didn't understand had happened. So he's going to have quite a time ahead of him cleaning up this physically, financially, and emotionally. So keep him in your prayers, y'all. Keep him in your prayers, and keep Miss Patty in your prayers. Keep the whole family, even the people we don't know, anybody that is touched by this. Just ask the Lord to put a healing hand on this whole entire family, and bless them. And everybody's like, oh, they've all been blessed. They're all rich, but no, bless them with a calm heart and a forgiving heart. Because this in a family, with someone who is already so kind of generous, for theft to happen when someone would basically give you the shirt off his back, it's going to create a lot of trust issues. And this could be a long-standing healing process for everyone that's involved. So we'll just take it a day at a time. And, I just wanted to come on here and say, yo, I see why he's been everywhere, through all these behaviors. Still don't think they were healthy. Still think he could have handled them better. I would love to teach him better ways to handle things. But I understand the momentum behind it now. But, yeah, we got a lot of praying to do for our country boy. And for me, it's hard to think of anything malevolent coming from either him or Miss Patty. I can't, there's got to be, I'm just praying that there is a reason behind this that will kind of be like, oh, okay. And okay, I get it now. But there may not be. But I care for them both deeply, so I want to see them both happy. And so whatever occurs, I just hope that they find some kind of foundation to start over, heal, and have a better relationship. Sometimes we do need to start over. Sometimes we do need to start over. So I don't know, Rachel. That's what I'm saying. There may be something behind this to where I don't know. There could have been something going on that if Ryan finds out the whole reason behind it, he would have probably been like, okay, cool. I would have been cool with that if you brought it to me. But the fact that nobody brought it to him, they did it behind his back, I understand why he's mad. I understand why the boy's mad. But obviously we're getting about a tenth of the story, so we don't know like all the decision making and everything that was behind it. I mean, it's wrong. It's foundationally wrong to spend someone else's money and to hide a purchase like that. That's wrong. It's criminal. But I'm just saying, what is the motive there? What is the motive? And had she brought that motive to Ryan in a different light, would Ryan have been okay with it? Maybe if they start to communicate, maybe they will find some kind of compromise to move forward. That's my hope. But straight up, he has every right to feel betrayed. He has every right to be upset, furious. He has every right to feel like he cannot trust anyone right now. And, but he still needs to find healthy ways to handle those emotions. So, I want him to find healthier ways to handle all of this, because the more and more famous he gets, the more and more issues like this will occur. And that's just the sad thing about fame. Fame is such a double-edged sword. It's such a catch-22. It is just such a absolute crapshoot most of the time. And while most people think it's like the most fantastic thing in the world, you can travel the world, you can do anything you want, but you can travel the world, but you have a little small bubble, because you have to have security, and everywhere you go has to be shut down, or you have to have, a bubble of people around you protect you, and you don't get to like intermingle in society like everyone else. And so you miss parts of life that we take for granted. Sure, he gets to experience stuff that we would love to experience, but we also get to experience stuff that he wishes he could experience. Because you've got to think, since he was a teenager, he's been pretty doggone famous. Thank God he had a good, bare bones raising. They gave him a lot of common sense and a great foundation to start from. But being famous is not all it's cracked up to be. And, I've known a lot of famous people that they were like, I just wish I was normal. Like, I wish I could erase it all and be normal. So, but this is definitely big news. Definitely big news. So, I just hope things work out without anyone, being too hurt. I hate to see the strife in the family, and the breakdown of a family, and the breakdown of trust, and it's hard to bounce back from, and I hate to see that occur here. But obviously there will have to also be people held accountable for behaviors and things that they did that were, you know, not theirs to do. So we just have to sit back and allow him to handle this. This is his finances, his problems to fix, and I wish him well, and hope he gets everything under lock and key and gets a good financial plan established. And I hope this never happens to him again, because when you've got a heart and a wallet that has been as kind and generous as Ron Upchurch, there's no reason anyone should ever steal from him. Family or not, there's no reason to justify stealing from somebody who has always had his heart and his wallet open for his entire community. I mean, the things he's done for people that nobody knows about, he's just that kind. So it's hard to see it happen, and it's even harder to see it happen internally within the family. So I'm just really hoping everybody heals from this. So I don't know. I just feel like there's somewhere in the last year, 10 months, there's been some interjection of some party somewhere, some person or a group of people that have, to me, it felt like something has been off for about that amount of time. So either it was the interjection of people, one or more, or a change. I don't know. Something's been off for me for about 10 months to a year. And something's been massively off for me with his behavior since the Rodney case. So maybe it was a lot of this he was finding out, putting it together, and doing some sleuthing to figure out what was going on. Maybe that was what was going on. So, gosh, I mean, this has got to suck. Got to suck. So say some prayers for him. This is gonna be hard to handle. Because, y'all, he's got a big heart. When you hurt a big heart, does a big heart hurt big? So this is going to hurt him. I mean, you can see the pain. And he tries to cut the pain with the being loud. It's like a little baby rooster. They try to be loud and strut. But you can see the pain when he's talking about this in the Insta story. And so I'm going to be praying hard for him. And I'm still going to be pushing Creek Squad to be better, to behave better, to be more positive, to stop engaging when things go wrong, try to have positive engagement instead of negative engagement, to go back to the positive momentum, the family-focused interest that Creek Squad used to have, and to make sure that we're not having a feeding frenzy off of this negative stuff. Because so many times here lately, when there's been something negative, it's just been a feeding frenzy for that side of Creek Squad. And when you engage with someone who is famous, they like engagement. Obviously, engagement is something that fuels their brand and their finances. But we don't want to train Ryan that will engage higher if you keep having crap happen to you. No, we want him happy. So, hey, Creek Squad, let's engage when things go right. Let's engage when the music is great. Let's engage when he's having happy days. And when he's having crapshoot days, let's say, hey, praying for you. Let's not get on there and egg it on. Let's not get on there and say, yeah, I need to see more of this energy. If you know that it's not a good energy, let's try to stop asking him to have that negative energy. Let's try to engage in a positive manner on positive days so that we kind of retrain ourselves to like fuel positivity rather than negativity or indifference, because Creek Squad has really been feeling some crap lately. And I know that most of Creek Squad does not want to see that happen. And so we've just got to be aware and to make sure that we're not kind of training him, because Creek Squad and Ryan have a symbiotic relationship. They kind of have the same energy flow. They feed off each other. So we don't want to train that, oh, we'll give you more engagement if you have crap happen to you and have frustrating days. No, we don't want to see him unhappy. Let's retrain ourselves to where we'll have high engagement on his positive, happy, good days, good music, good songs, good friend days. And on the crappy days when he has bad things happen, we'll toss up a, hey, prayers to you, thinking of you. But we don't egg that on. And that would be my only thing that I would say, if that's something that you catch yourself doing, try to retrain yourself and look at, kind of what it's creating. Because Creek Squad has changed so much in the last year, and it's not been for the better. So, but this is big news, and it's sad. Hey, Daniel, it's sad, but I just hope everybody gets through this, and every one of them have my prayers. And I don't like to see people hurt. I don't like to see people hurt. But at the end of the day, accountability is the only way to get through this. Accountability is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But maybe if we get through it and everyone has their accountability moment, maybe then we can get back to where they can have a new foundation and start building a new relationship. So that's what I'm going to pray for. Let's get through the accountability, and then let's hope we can find a new foundation and a new option to build a relationship that they want to have with each other. So that's going to be what I'm going to be praying for. So just wanted to jump on and let you all know that I saw that, because I knew that y'all would start messaging me. I actually saw it right after my PT nurse left, so I was like, oh crap. Obviously, Ron, if I can be of any help in any way, just to even vent, scream. If you need somebody just to scream with you, hey, dude, here. But if it's hard to understand why people make decisions, what they're thinking, and why they do things. And I'm always here, kind of like sift through the crap, I'm really good at that. After a decade of supervising murderers and criminals, I'm really good at sifting through crap. But it's just really hurtful to have family do things to you like this. Been there, done that, got that t-shirt. Sucks. But I will say that when I rebuilt my relationship, I was blessed beyond measure. It took 8 years to attempt to rebuild the relationship for my family, but I was blessed beyond measure when I did. And I never thought I would be able to rebuild the relationship, but I did. And it was worth every hard day and every tear and every prayer that I put up to get that relationship rebuilt. So crap happens, and we have to take care of it. But If you can find a way to heal from this, you will be the strongest person ever. Because healing, takes way more strength and way more knowledge of self than carrying a grudge. So I hope he finds a way to heal. Let's see. This StreamYard is so hard to read some of these small little comments. Daniel, it is heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. He's so generous and he's just got an open heart, and it's just so sad to see somebody take advantage of things that he gives freely. He gives his heart and money freely, and it's just sad to see somebody think they needed to do that behind his back. Hey, Hillbilly Lives. I just saw a thing go out from Kansas Rebel. Okay, so he posted the video with Ryan in front of the house off the Insta too. Okay, yeah. So if you haven't seen the video, go watch it. The body language in it, I was just sad. I was just sad for him. I was just sad for him. Money's toxic. It's what we all work for, but it's never what really makes us happy. Isn't that us? It's the weirdest thing. It's what we all need, but it's rarely ever what brings happiness. Yeah, when family does it, it hurts worse. Yeah, I had a very parts of my childhood were like almost picture perfect with growing up on the farm and stuff, and then there's an era of my childhood that was very toxic and very not good. It was very bad, and it took me a lot of therapy, a lot of time to get through it, and I had to basically walk away and say, "Sorry, I'm not going to continue in this. I'm going to break away because this is too toxic for me." And when I broke away, it inadvertently made them have to reconfigure the family dynamic, and they realized, well, crap, there's a lot that's not getting done because Liz pulled a lot of weight. And they realized that it was better to have boundaries and have me in their life than to have no boundaries but not have me anywhere. And it took 8 years to really build up trust again because it was a really toxic environment there for a while. But it was worth every bit of it, because I love my parents. I've never stopped loving my parents, but there are people that are just not conducive to positive life momentum at certain times, and you have to say sorry. I have to take care of me and mine first. So peace out. I've got to take care of me and mine. And a lot of people always feel too guilty to do that, but sometimes you got to do it. You got to take care of yourself. And it's sad. And I was very fortunate that we had an opportunity to reestablish and start over. And we have a stronger bond now than we used to. And, I'm very, very glad of that. But it took a lot of work, though. Do not ever minimize the work that it takes to love your family. Let me tell you, it doesn't come easy. You think it would because it's your family, but your family is also the closest people that know everything about you and can take you apart the quickest. So your family are either the most loving or the most lethal, and that's kind of how it rolls. They're either the most loving or the most lethal, and you just have to pay very close attention to your relationships with them and make sure that you're having healthy ones. So, money is the root of all evil. I don't like money at all. I don't have very much of it, and I guess I'm blessed because I just don't think it brings anything but problems. I just don't really care for money. I mean, I like to pay my bills, but I just do not have a good vibe when it comes to money and the things that people do for money. It just wigs me out a lot. So money is not anything that I really care for. Oh, is he still going? Well, bless his heart. I'm telling you, this is the tip of the iceberg. This is a drop of the bucket. Now, whatever has been going on, it's going to purge, and it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be hurtful, and it's going to be toxic, and it's going to be harmful, and it's going to hurt, and he's going to have to heal from it. And literally everything that I've been talking about for a week, he probably needs to go watch and think about, because how he reacts and heals from this and establishes new relationships is how his life is going to take shape again. So, but if it's something this big could happen without him knowing it, then this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. Oh, I got a hiccup. Sorry, tip of the iceberg, and we will probably find out way more as days go by. But part of me really hopes that they keep it quiet and deal with it quietly. But he is a social media figure, and he normally is super open with fans, so he'll probably tell everything. Did he? No, did he say that they're dead to him? Well, those are words, and words are strong, and they have a lot of meaning. But sometimes when they're said in anger, they don't always have the weight. They have the hate, but they don't always have the weight. So that may be something that he comes back from. I hope it is. I hope it is. I don't. If you go through life and you have to hate somebody, that's a weight on your soul and not theirs. So I would hope that he doesn't hate anybody. I understand why he's mad and frustrated. I get it completely. But I certainly hope he doesn't let this really change who he is at the core, because he really has a beautiful heart, and I just don't want this to change it. So, well, that's all I wanted to say. So everybody, send up prayers, leave positive messages. Don't ag on the aggression, or don't kick the coals and stoke the fire. Just try to be positive. Send them love. Send up prayers. Keep them in your thoughts. Keep the whole family in your thoughts. This is going to be a big deal. This is going to be a hard thing to recover from. This is going to be bad for everybody, and it's not a position anyone would ever want to be in. So don't take any joy in it. Don't. I mean, my heart hurts for everybody that's being touched by this. But I hope that Ryan heals from this. But I hope he can also sit down and say, I've got to find a better, healthier way to cope with these problems rather than through anger. Because the anger is going to drive him mentally to a place where he will not be recognizable in a few years. It's not a good thing. And I worry about him because he's in that age range where he's taken hold of life, but life also kicks your butt a little bit. And so the next 7 years are going to be a big deal about who he matures into and how his life sets up for his older years. And so I want him to get some better ideas of how to handle upsets, financial hardships, um, unexpected lies and deceptions, how to work through those in a healthier manner so that it doesn't hit him and hurt him in such a way that it causes these behaviors where he's going 170 down an interstate and he's there are certain things you can't cover with bravado. There are certain things you have to handle in a healthy manner, and I really hope he finds that healthy balance so that he can have happiness that kind of goes through his entire life. um Man, your 30s kick your butt. I'm telling you, the 30s are like the worst decade in your life because you're no longer a child, and you're no longer a child, and you're edging into senior citizen status because you can see it cresting the hill, and you know that this is your last decade to really enjoy, and life hits you in so many ways because you literally kind of see your whole life in your 30s. You understand where you came from, and you can definitely see where you're going, and your 30s are packed with a lot of growth and a lot of experiences that shape you, and it sucks. It's hard. That's a lot to swallow in your 30s. So, if you ever need help, call a friend, see a professional. Buddy, the 30s will kick your butt. That's like the worst decade ever. The 30s were my worst decade ever. And I talk to everyone, and it's like a truth. It's like statistically proven. The 30s are the hardest decade because you detach from your juvenile self. You're moving into your adult self, but you're still kind of free floating in between. And it sucks. It really sucks. The new owners, Nina says the new owners of the house asked him what he wanted them to do with the car in the garage. And they showed him they had bought a Trans Am. Who bought it when they're right? Dude, have you seen my Trans Am? Um, that's just ludicrous on top of weird. Um, this is just wilder by the moments. Wilder by the moments. All I can say is, hey, theft is criminal. Accountability is going to suck. But at the end of the day, I hope everybody can heal from this and somehow the family can move forward and eventually have some kind of foundation again of love, because that's what I would want for everyone. But accountability is going to suck, but it has to happen. And my heart breaks for Ryan right now. So go send him some love. Go send him some prayers. Um, Engage positively and try to keep it positive. And just remind him, hey, before you're a social media person, before you're someone that shares your life so openly with your friends, you make great music, and we love you for your lyrics and your messages through your music. Let's talk about those positive things instead of focusing on those negative things, because something, he needs to hear the things that he's done for others right now. He needs to hear the positive because he's got too much negative coming at him. So I'm going to send out my little positive flying monkeys. Y'all go be positive and and share the love. I just want to say, dude, now I get it. Probably a drop in the bucket. If he probably knows everything that's been thieved from him, it would probably make us all go blonde. Sad to think about, but at the end of the day, I hope he finds peace, because if he doesn't find peace out of this and move forward, it's going to tarnish his heart. And that heart is too beautiful to be tarnished. I don't want to see that heart get tarnished. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut up and try to eat me some dinner because I just did physical therapy. Like 3.5 hours of nurse visits today. I'm freaking exhausted, okay? So I'm going to find me something to eat and probably won't see me again until tomorrow. I'm waiting on an ice storm. Yay. So if we have electricity tomorrow, I'll try to pop on and let you see if it did any damage. I don't think it will, but probably going to get icy here later tonight. So if you're in the ice storm, please be careful. Take care of yourself. Traveling late at night, going through I-40 or anywhere in Tennessee, please be careful. And I will check in with y'all tomorrow unless something super big drops. I might pop on later, but it'll have to be super big because I'm not going to milk this. I just wanted to say, hey, this has been part of what we're dealing with. Now we know. Now we can start to put the puzzle together, and now the actions make more sense. But still, gosh, Ryan, honey, if you're listening, please go listen to my last lives. I want to see you in a better spot. I don't want your heart tarnished. And your 30s will do it to you if any age gap will. So, okay, guys, y'all take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.